Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Local Gems. My name is Ben Barber. I am your host for the show, and I am extremely excited about this episode. I am talking to one of the co-owners, he and his wife, of the Talent Factory here in Rhode Island. I have gotten to know him just a little bit over the last year or so through the Lieutenant Governor's small business town halls and whatnot. Just a wonderful person. This is Hugo. I'm so sorry, Hugo. I'm gonna say your last name again wrong. It's Adames.
Adames.
How did I get it? It was
you were close.
All right, Hugo. Thank you for joining me. I'm a big fan of everything that the Talent Factory does. Can you talk a little bit about what it is and how you got started?
Sure. Thanks for having me on the show, Ben. So the Talent Factory, we started 18 years ago. My wife and I started the business, and we originally we started focusing on education for the performing arts, dancing, acting, singing classes, and private lessons for children and some adults, but mostly children of all ages.
Nice. That is something near and dear to my heart. 18 years, you said?
Yeah, this is our 18th season.
So you started this when you were 11?
Yes, pretty much. I think I was 21 when we opened.
That is wonderful. So I also I don't know if a lot of people know this anymore, because I do like other things other than this, but I started a community theater when I was 17.
No way. I don't think I knew that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So me and my best friend Dave, who is the D in D&B Media, we started a community theater while still in high school together. He was 16, I was 17. That was our first business, and then we went on to start a children's theater in Westerly. That's still going strong and stuff. So
That's
I love
awesome.
it. We both went to New York to school for acting and musical theater. So like this is one of my favorite episodes that I've ever done already.
Oh, that's great. Thank you, Ben. I appreciate it.
How did you get into it?
Well, my wife actually, she grew up dancing. Her mother owned dance studios back in the 80s, early 90s. She sold, it was called Dance Rhode Island. And she grew up in the dance studio. And then on my side, my father was a radio personality, is a radio personality, I should say. And he was also an MC. So he would host concerts. He would bring in concerts, be part of the promoting team, and he would host the events. So I grew up backstage. My wife grew up on stage. That's how we got involved.
Very cool. So tell me a little bit more about what the Talent Factory does. Is it more focused on classes? Do you have performances? Like, give me the full scope of what happens inside the doors of the factory, inside the multiple locations of the factory.
Right. Well, the education part is always our strong suit. We have a team of phenomenal teachers, a wide range of teachers with different abilities. That's one thing that we like to always talk about, is our teachers focus on their specific genre for the most part. We have teachers that are obviously great at multiple genres, but we try to make sure that they teach what they feel most comfortable in and what their strongest suit is in. So that's part of what the Talent Factory does. Apart from that, we also focus a lot on performances now. Since COVID, we opened a new location where we would like to focus more on performances. That was a big issue for us because during COVID, we were shut down from places to perform. The venues were all closed down. So one vision that we've always wanted to do, but we never really had the opportunity to do it, was to open a small theater so that we can just do shows as we felt fit and help other performing arts centers have shows. So we did that. Now we're in We're in operation at the new space at 144 Metro Center Boulevard in Warwick, and we're focusing on the performance part of it now, along with the education.
This is fantastic. I absolutely love that. You opened a performance space since COVID. Since COVID
Yeah,
started. So
yeah. We actually
that's incredible. Yeah.
November was our opening. We had a few delays. It was supposed to open in September, but there's a lot of tape you have to uncover before you can open. Um, Probably across the country, but in Rhode Island, you have to just make sure you cross all your T's and dot all your I's, which we did in November, and we finally opened, and we're planning a grand opening event at some point, I believe, in March. We're just waiting for the current state to kind of calm down with some of the cases we're seeing.
I love that, and I look forward to your grand opening, because
Oh, you'll be there, Ben. You'll be there. Don't you
that's
worry.
fantastic. That was always a dream, and still is, to have your own theater space, your own performing space, and having the control over that, and also to be able to help out other entities in the area. That's amazing. I'm really happy that happened for you guys.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
kudos for doing it. Kudos for doing it during COVID, because that's extraordinary. How has the pandemic affected everything that you do?
Well, it's been tough, to say the least. It's been tough for, I believe, all performing arts centers. Any business that's been focusing on group exercises with children, specifically children who were the unvaccinated population for the majority of the pandemic. I think we took a big hit, and we've had a lot of hurdles to jump, and we've learned throughout the process. I think the pandemic taught us to diversify, for lack of better words, right? For the amount of time that we were shut down and all the obstacles we faced, we learned we can't just focus on the classroom space anymore, right? Because we're a small business. So we have to be able to have multiple sources of revenue to be able to float what we're passionate about. So we're passionate about the education, but the performances definitely help cover the cost for the education. We're passionate about the education, so the retail part of our business has to help cover the cost. So it's a learning process, and we've learned some new things, and we're still learning.
I this is I think that you might be the only guest that I could explain this to, and I'm gonna get some hate from it from theater fans, but I agree with you, right? Like, the one aspect of it needs to help the other aspect of it financially, so that you can build and grow the way that you want. And the arts are so specific to that, because so much of it is not commercialized. It's not for money. You're trying not to do that, and there needs to be things that pay for that, so that you can teach these kids, and you can give them performances and do all of that. And that's where, like, the merchandise and the retail stuff comes in. I always I always say, anytime that so right now, like, I love helping nonprofits with the streaming and whatever that we're doing, and I want to keep that as much as possible. I do it for free when I can, but to hire other people to do it needs to be something, and to be altruistic, to follow your artistic ideals, to follow your whatever. There needs to be some level of something that floats that boat, right?
Profitability,
And
yes.
yeah, and I always reference Benny in Rent, and I'm like, I don't think, other than I want to state this clearly, other than wiping out an entire tent city of homeless population, the idea that he wanted to build condos that would keep open the artistic studios for his friends and the people living that lifestyle in New York that were artists that needed a place to make music and needed a place to dance and needed a place to, I've always been like, so whenever a new business thing comes up, I'm like, okay, and then these will be our condos so that we can do this. And I
Right.
reference it all the time. And
Yeah.
people are like, he's the bad guy in the movie. And I'm like, he was misunderstood.
He was misunderstood.
I disagree
I
that he was
agree.
misunderstood. But yeah, like, so it's very important for that. Uh Tell me a little bit about the retail aspect of it, just because I'm interested in how that goes for you.
Very small, very small. Our retail division of the Talent Factory basically just has the items that children and adults need to be able to perform or take class, right? So we cover a range of tap shoes, ballet shoes, leotards, tights,
Yep.
anything they need for class. We actually work with Capizio. They have a store in Smithfield called Labrie. Everybody knows Labrie in Rhode Island. They're a great store. We love working with them. They're always very supportive of everything we do. So there's a good business connection there, and they help us out with the retail, and it helps our students. It's a convenience factor, and that's why we do it.
I once Capizio is amazing.
They're
Uh
the best. Yeah.
yeah, I once had to walk something happened to my shoes during a dance when I was in New York going to school for theater. Um I had to walk like the 20 blocks home in jazz shoes,
Mm.
and I was like, I was not good at it anyway. That was an aspect of the school that I
Yeah,
had to take that part of the curriculum even
that's
though I did
right.
not want to. And I was like, this is miserable. And then I hated them ever since. But I ruined them, and then I had to go find the store in Manhattan. It was terrible. Um, so 18 years is a really long time to be doing this, and what's beautiful about that is that I don't know the age group of how young they start, and I'll get to that in a second. You can answer that in a second. But watching the growth of children grow as performers, but also the wonderful thing about the performing arts is that you're watching them grow in confidence and in
That's
their
right.
ability to see things through. And like, so many people, they may never be a professional dancer, they may never be a professional actor, they may never be a professional singer, but there's a lot more of a chance that they're going to go get involved in something and be a CEO of a company, or the head of a division of something, or a politician making a difference, or the head, executive director of a nonprofit,
That's
because they
right.
have confidence from the things that you're teaching them. What is it like? Is it really gratifying watching these children grow
Oh, no
into
question.
adults through your programs?
No question. Occasionally we hear from some parents once in a while. We'll hear the comments like, my kid's not going to do this as a career. My kid's just trying to have fun, and that's great. We're here to have fun. That's 100% of what we do is, education through activities that are fun. Um, but they're going to take away those things you just mentioned, Ben, of confidence, the ability to speak in front of a crowd. If you can dance in front of a crowd, you'll have no problem talking in front of a crowd, right? Taking direction, time management, working with a team. It's endless. The different trades you're going to pick up from being a part of a performing arts program, and I'm not just talking about dance. I'm talking about acting, singing. We have students that do monologues. They'll recite monologues, and they'll, improv classes, being quick on your feet. There's just so many different things that you can take on for the rest of your life. And yes, you're right. You're probably not going to have a career in the performing arts. It's like making the NBA. It's difficult. It's not an easy task, but it's doable. And apart from that, there are other parts in life, other pieces of business that this this type of activity will help you in.
Yeah, absolutely. There's something beautiful, I think, of the fact that, like, in the performing arts, and it's different for every version of performing arts. like this isn't necessarily true for people that want to be ballerinas. But it in all shapes and sizes. But if you want to play in the NBA and you're not, at least 6 foot something and a certain genetics, uh, like that really plays against you. And there's a real legitimate cap to for the majority of people that don't fit a certain mold. Um, and in performing arts, you can it teaches you how to be yourself and do what you're doing through the lens of your perspective, through the lens of who you are, what you come with, to what you bring to the dance, literally. Uh, and that's probably the greatest lesson that I ever learned going to school for the performing arts was I had a teacher who was on Broadway, and he stopped me and said, "That scene was great, but you were acting. Please, next time you do a scene and forever, remember that like you're who you are." And that, like, he was like, "You're a big guy. Why are you not leaning into that? Why are you not doing, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
be comfortable with yourself first."
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful, like, I don't know. I think that there's nothing better than the arts, and it's really, really important for all. Like, if you want to be an engineer, that's wonderful, but like knowing and having the confidence in yourself to explain things and talk publicly and doing all of that stuff, like,
Right.
you guys are doing some very precious work over
Yeah.
there at the
Thank you.
talent factory.
Thank you. We say things like use the tools in your toolbox, so exactly what you have to offer, the person you are, you adopt that, and you let
Mhm.
that project through whatever it is you're doing, whether it's a song, a dance, a performance, or a book report, or a presentation, a PowerPoint presentation. Your
Yep.
humor, your personality that's what keeps people engaged.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have to wrap up in a minute, but I would love for you to come back maybe in a couple weeks, a little closer or after the grand opening. What sort of things can people get involved in right now?
Well, our registration is still open, so we'll continue to take new students into classes. The students that will be in our classes now will perform in um, June for our annual dance recital, which will have our new venue on 144 Metro Center Boulevard. So that's still something that people can sign up to. Apart from that, there are other things that we're always doing. There will be other performances people can attend. There will be different, we do birthday parties. We're planning on doing some comedy shows at the new space. There's a lot. If you go on our website, talentfactoryri.com, or visit us on Instagram or Facebook, you'll see all the content we put out, and there's always something going on. Believe me, I don't sleep anymore. There's always something going on.
I I wouldn't assume that you did.
Yeah.
All of the links to everything that Hugo and the Talent Factory do can be found in the description of this video or podcast, wherever you're watching or listening to this. Um, Hugo, I'm always thrilled to talk to another person with a love for the arts, and even more so to someone who has a love for passing that on to the next generation. And I think we should end with this. Uh, if nothing else, what you're doing with all of these kids is instilling, more so even than confidence, is hope, right? It's seeing something that where you were not good at something beforehand. No one walks in and is amazing at
That's
whatever it
right.
is that they want to do when they walk into the doors of the Talent Factory. No one is perfect and no one is finished. And in the arts, you never really get perfect and you never really get finished, but you improve.
Right.
And the hope for improvement is something that is instilled in the arts every single day, and just hope in general. And I want to say thank you
I
on behalf
appreciate it.
of on behalf of everyone in Rhode Island for the generation and several generations now
Yes, thank you.
of students that you have inspired. So thank
You
you
know, I
to you and
appreciate it,
yours.
Ben. I appreciate it. I do want to add
Yeah,
two things to what you just said. You know, what we do is we help people become their better selves, right? So we give everybody, you know, in life, apart from the business, we give everybody the opportunity to always be their best person, right? You give everybody the benefit of the doubt. We are here to enhance that at a young age so that these children can believe in themselves moving forward and know that they can always improve. Everyone can always improve. Like you said, no one's perfect, right? But we all strive to be better people. Apart from that, I love the fact that Rhode Island supports the arts. It's a big thing in our state. I know it's very important to a lot of our elected officials. So we really love being in Rhode Island for it. And I also think there are many, many performing arts centers, dance studios, acting classes that have phenomenal programs. We're in a state where our peers are amazing. You know, if you excuse me, if you think your kid can benefit from a performing arts program, you have an array of businesses you can support. And just being involved with any of them across the state, any program that helps your child with what we just discussed in today's show is a good program. Go for it. You have nothing to lose.
absolutely. Yeah, you throw a rock in Rhode Island, you're going to hit a performing arts school of
That's right.
some kind. And I highly recommend that everybody check out the Talent Factory. And if you're wondering about it, check out their website. And go see a performance, because if you're wondering if your kid is interested, take them to see a performance and see if they say that they want to do it, because 9 out of 10 times they're going to want to after that. And
It's a
again,
lot
they
of
don't need
fun.
to be professionals. It's so much fun.
It's a lot of
It's
fun.
like it's like playing sports, but knowing that you're going to win the Super Bowl every year.
That's
It's
right.
fantastic.
That's right.
So, thank you, Hugo. Please come on again, and
Yes. Thank you, Ben. I
congratulations on all
appreciate
of
it.
your success. This is wonderful. This is definitely not going to be the last time we talk. Thank you so
No,
much.
I look forward to it. Thank you.
All right, have a good one.
You too.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Talent Factory, please go support them. What a wonderful organization. What wonderful human beings behind it. This has been fantastic. Truly a local gem. And that's why we do this show, so that we could know more about them. And selfishly, it's so that I can know more about them, right? Like, I've known Hugo now in passing for almost 2 years. And to have that level of conversation, and to have that depth, and know who he is more, and he know who I am more. That's the point, right? And that's the confidence that years and years and years of performing arts training has helped foster. I don't run a theater right now at all, right? But I do, I am the live stream producer for the governor and lieutenant governor, and that's how I know these people. And it's because I have the confidence to speak out. And there's so many things, there's so many wonderful, beneficial things that that these organizations give. So please check out the Talent Factory. And if you know anybody that you think, any business, any local organization that you think should be spotlighted here on Local Gems, send me an email in the description. We'll see you next week.